We received a message from one of our followers asking a couple of questions about custody in Travis County, as a matter of fact. One of the questions is, I'm wondering if anyone has won more than expanded standard visitation in Travis County. Those kind of metrics are hard to come by because the courts don't really keep track of that stuff, and there's no central collection point for people coming out of any county, really, to say whether or not they have more than expanded or less than expanded. To be quite honest, there's just no data being collected on that, and I would love to give you that information. Believe me, there's a lot of guys and a lot of advocates that would love to have that information, but that information just isn't available. Now, the second question was, if so, who was your attorney? That's going to be kind of hard to answer anyway, because we don't have those metrics. But here's the thing about attorneys. They just kind of do their thing. Each one of them, they have their own plan, and they have to live inside of the courtroom. That's where they work. So they're not going to think outside the box. They're not going to put pressure on the judge, on the other party. They're not going to do that. The only thing they want is to take your money, and they're going to do the basic thing, which is tell you, okay, well, mom has custody or dad has 9 times out of 10, or actually 8 times out of 10, mom has custody and you're going to have to prove her unfit. That's what a father would hear, is that mom has custody and you have to prove her unfit. And good luck with that. So this is what's going to happen: is the judge is going to give you the standard possession and and you're going to have to pay child support. The law says that you actually have to ask for the expanded standard, or you don't get it. You have to either ask on a piece of paper and file it, or you have to ask in court, and the judge still has to determine whether or not you get it. So it's up to the actual parent to ask for it, and the attorney will be glad to take your money and fight for you, but they're not going to go very far. They're not going to put their careers on the line just to get you custody of your children. Question number 3 is, who was your judge? Well, see, there's different types of judges in family law. There's district judges, which are elected, and then there's associate judges that are appointed by what's called an administrative judge. And an administrative judge presides over a bigger region than a county. It encompasses many counties. And those administrative judges are appointed by the governor. And those administrative judges come up with a group of attorneys who want to become an associate judge. And they take this list of attorneys and they give it to the judge, the district judge, that is. And the district judges in that area, depending on what type of issues are presented in their court, say family law, the family law judges will choose an associate judge out of that list, and then that associate judge will that attorney will get appointed as an associate judge. And they pretty much have like the same powers as a district judge, but you can object to them presiding over your case and go up to a district judge. And associate judges are not elected by the people. They're appointed by an administrative judge who takes cues from the district judges in that area. It's kind of a complex process to explain, and that's for another video, but I'll leave it at that. The next question is, how long did it take? These questions are kind of hard because most people can take up to 2 years. We've seen people that they're still fighting, and it's 5-6 years later, they're still stuck with a temporary order. So it's kind of hard to say, to answer that question. That honestly, these are the wrong kinds of questions to ask. If you're worried about time, or if you're worried about the judge, or worried about which attorney to use, those are the wrong questions. You should be asking, what is the attorney supposed to do? How are they going to fight? How are they going to get you your kid? And honestly, the attorneys just aren't going to do it. You know, they're not going to risk their careers. It involves risking their careers and putting pressure on judges and actually sticking up for your rights. And these questions just aren't the right questions to ask, to be worried about. And I believe that most people are worried about these type of questions, and that's the wrong thing to do. The next question is, what methods did you use? Well, if you're referring to the previous questions, that's the wrong question as well. But like I said, the methods you have to use is standing your ground and saying that the judge does not own your children. And asking them for a statute or a law that says that when you divorce or when you separate, that the state owns your children. And there is no law. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court of the United States has said that the states do not own children. So just because parents are divorcing and stuff of that nature. So you really have to stand your ground and don't give in. Don't be so easy to take the standard possession order or expanded standard. Those are just bones that they throw you so that you bite and that you go and stop fighting. And the attorneys, they're happy to take your money. So eventually you run out of money and you have nothing to do. So you have to take these default terms, the standard possession and the expanded standard. But you really have to fight it out. You have to use everything in the book in order to fight for your rights. What was your key to this success? The key to success in anything, in family law or business or just personal life, is dedication and perseverance. That's your key to success. You have to stay the course and stay with it and keep fighting and don't give up. That's your key to success with anything. Another question is, how can I improve my chances? Learn how to fight. Keep fighting. Don't give up. That's how you improve your chances. Keep talking. Keep learning. Knowledge. You know, like G.I. Joe said back in the days, was knowledge is half the battle. You have to learn, and you have to not do what the attorneys and the establishment tell you. They want you to be complacent. They want you to roll over and take what you get, and you have to absolutely refuse to take what they give you. Don't do it. Keep fighting. Don't take the orders. Don't sign them. And you tell the judge constantly, I don't want this. I don't accept this. I never gave you control over my children. You do not have control over my children. If you have control over my children, then you owe me money, because those children are my property. And when you take property in the name of society, when the government takes your property, they owe you money. And you have to tell them that constantly in court. Don't let your attorney tell you to shut up. You have to keep doing it. Don't give up. It's part of the key of success is determination and perseverance. You have to keep doing it. Don't give up. Don't be afraid. They're trying to take your children. And you have to tell the judge, you do not have control over my children just because we are separating. And if you take control over my children, then you owe me money. And my children are very precious to me, and you are going to pay quite a lot of money to take my children. You have to keep saying it. Even if they issue an order, you appeal, you mandamus, you bill of review, you certiorari. There is a ton of remedies to keep fighting. You just don't roll over after that first judge gives you an order. Don't take it. You keep fighting, but it's expensive, so you have to learn. Now, another question. Has anyone hired a private investigator? Of course they have. Of course they have. I mean, private investigators are very useful as far as information to use against the other party to gain some leverage. So, of course, people have hired a private attorney. And the last question is, was it worth it? Well, If you get your kids in the end, no matter how long it takes, 5, 10 years, is that worth it? If you get your kids after that, is that worth it? That's the kind of question that you should have asked yourself and that many people need to ask themselves. Is it worth it? Are my kids worth it? And I'll tell you what, I've come across a lot of parents that I've tried to help and they bail. I call them the flake outs. And they flake out on their own children. And I don't understand it. Like, your children are worth it. You have to keep fighting. And there are a lot of different things you can do, like trying to work things out with the other parent. Learn how to handle a narcissist, because the government turns people into narcissists. They give them power to exert over somebody else. And that, first of all, that's not legal. That goes against like so many principles of law. But people let themselves succumb to these things because they don't know what to do. Their attorneys tell them one thing. The judges are very oppressive and tell them you have no choice. And money is always an issue. But are your kids worth it? I think they are. And you need to learn how to fight. And you need to keep fighting. So that's it with all the questions. Again, guys, if you have questions, you can send them send us a message on the Dad Equal Custody Facebook page. And we'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you.